At Stockport Foundation Trust, we want to ensure that all of our patients get the very best in care all of the time. Unfortunately, we're currently missing our 4-hour standard for seeing, treating and discharging patients within 4 hours on 95% of occasions. We see about 270 patients a day. 110 of these arrive by ambulance, some come on their own or with relatives, and others are sent in by GPs or other healthcare professionals. The problem is we see about 78% of these patients within the 4 hours. We want to tell you a little bit about why that's happening and what you can do to help. When patients first arrive in the emergency department, if their condition isn't too serious or their injury isn't life-threatening, they can usually be managed within the 4-hour standard. However, if a patient's condition is more serious or their injury is such that they can't go home the same day, they get referred to a specialist. And it's whilst they're waiting to see that specialist and awaiting a bed that the problem occurs. We do everything we can to keep patients safe in the department, but it is every critical hour that passes, the patient's care is suffering.
Problems arise with patient flow is because we don't have early enough discharges in the morning for our patients that are going home. It is like, an example might be traffic on a road. If you're stuck in a traffic jam, everywhere becomes overcrowded, and consequently, because it becomes overcrowded, that means that we're not getting the patients into the place that they should be. So patient flow is really important because we need to get the patients seen by the right consultant, and the nurses who are dealing with those patients need to be looking after those patients in the correct place. What we also need though is that we need the discharges at the same time. So most nights we can end up with 10 to 20 patients staying in ED overnight. It can be very noisy. We don't turn the lights off because obviously all the patients have to be seen too. So some patients are waiting in chairs waiting to be seen.
So it is important that we recognise that, it is everybody's responsibility, all of our patients in ED, and it's about us making sure that they're cared for in the best environment and the right environment. It's really important that we make sure we have enough beds for our patients coming through the front door every day in ED, and to do this we need to make sure that we are discharging all of our patients that are medically fit for discharge at the earliest time possible.
Every delay, no matter how small, can add up to cause a significant delay in the patient's discharge, and these delays can cause actual patient harm. That's why it's very important to start thinking about the discharge planning process from the very first moment the patient comes through our doors. We can all do our bit, whether that's making sure the tests our patients are getting are done on time, whether it's making sure that they get to the place they need to be as quickly as possible, working with our partners and community services to make sure everything is set up for them when they are ready to go home, or whether it's making sure the medications are ready as soon as a discharge decision is made. We've got really good initiatives in the Trust. We've got Red to Green, Dressed as Best. All of these initiatives have one goal in mind: to get the patient as quickly and as safely as possible home. We all need to make sure that the patient knows what estimated date of discharge they are working towards, and we need to make sure that each patient has an estimated date of discharge as soon as they are admitted.
What we need to be mindful of is that our patients' care does not stop at the hospital gate. We've got a raft of services which are waiting to get our patients home where the patient wants to be. We've got crisis response waiting with a package of care, specialist services, all waiting with the patient's view, their best interest in mind.
So ask yourself, what can you and your team do differently to help flow of patients through the hospital keep moving? Is the patient dressed if they can be? Does their family know what's happening? Could their diagnostics be done as an outpatient? Does this patient really need to stay in hospital overnight? What support could they receive out of hospital in the community? But above all, it's about recognising this is everybody's responsibility and we're all in it together.